Hey guys, what is up? Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Kayla, also known as Thrifty Mom of Two here on this YouTube channel. I am a full-time reseller. I sell on Poshmark, Mercari, and on eBay. And today I am back with another question and answer video, another Q&A. I have decided to start doing this type of video here on my YouTube channel as my following has continued to grow, just so that I can answer some questions that you guys have left on some of my past videos and share that information with everybody here on my channel. So if you guys do have any questions for me, make sure you leave them in the comments down below. Also, if you enjoy this type of video, hey, come here. My little pupperoo just walked by. If you guys heard that little jingling noise, that was this guy. He's being camera shy. This is Champ. He is my little Pomeranian. I've showed him on his channel before, but he is my little buddy. We hang out all day long. He follows me around everywhere. So if you guys hear background noise, I think he was just eating his dog food. So if you heard that noise, that was just this little guy here. But yeah, you guys, if you do enjoy this type of video, make sure to give this video a thumbs up. It really helps me out here on YouTube. So what I did is I went back and I selected 5 questions that I'm going to answer in this video. If I haven't got to your question yet, or it's not in this video, I am trying to keep track of them, and I will eventually get your question in a video. So let's go ahead and get started. Question number 1 is kind of a long one. It says, in watching your videos, you seem to do really well on Poshmark. I don't have consistent sales. I do share my closet at least once a day, sometimes 2. How many times do you share and add new listings? Okay, so I used to share my closet 3 times a day, and then it went down to 2 times a day, and now I actually only share my closet 1 time a day, which I wouldn't necessarily recommend. I would try still sharing your closet at least twice a day, but it is very time consuming for me since my inventory just continues to grow, and I am doing this all completely on my own. I don't have hired help. Eventually, it would be nice to have somebody share my closet for me and do some other tasks for my business. Right now, it's me sharing my closet, and I just do it 1 time a day, and that is it. Okay, and the second part of that question was, how many times do you add new listings? So I try to be as consistent as possible with adding new listings. I think that is actually even more important than sharing. Yes, sharing is important, something you should do daily, but adding new listings also will continually bring traffic into your closet. I don't photograph and list every single day, but I do try to do it multiple times a week. Probably at least 4 to 5 times a week, I'm adding new listings. Even if they're just listings I have saved in my draft, I will put listings in my draft and have them ready to go so that I can periodically post them to go live. And then I also try to cross list multiple times a week too, just to keep my stores active. Question number 2, how did you switch from part-time reselling to full-time? I'm like a little less than part-time and I would love to be full-time, but like, how did you get the sales, etc., to make it full-time? Do you just get a lot of inventory at once and that's how you start, or how would you go about it? Okay, so another really long question. How did I switch from part-time reselling to full-time? I actually just kind of started full-time. I never really was part-time. In the very beginning, I considered myself part-time because I was only making a part-time income, but it was my full-time job. So I had quit my 9-to-5 job that I went to college for before I even knew what reselling was. Reselling was just kind of something that I guess I fell into, and it was truly just a blessing that happened to me during that time, or that I found at that time. So yeah, I just kind of went for it from the beginning, and I was only making a part-time income the first couple of months, but shortly after, I started making a full-time income, and I just kind of dove in head first. So there really wasn't a transition period for me. It was either you do this and make it work, or you go find a new job where I have to, clock in and out with a boss over my head. which is not something that I wanted to do at the time. So, okay, so more of the question, how did you get the sales, etc., to make it full time? Basically, I started off just selling stuff around my own house, and that is how I first acquired inventory, because I didn't have a ton of money to invest. But then I just reinvested the money that I made from that into thrifting and buying more inventory. And I watched YouTube videos like this, like the one you're watching here, and I just learned brands and styles. I followed bloggers and just tried to stay on top of current trends. That way I was sourcing inventory that would sell. It's very important to source the right inventory. Of course, you're going to make some mistakes in the beginning, but the better you get at it, the longer you're doing it, the more you're going to learn what works for you and what doesn't. So yeah, just that's really how I got the sales. Listing consistently, sourcing new inventory, reinvesting. I was basically only taking out a small chunk of money that I needed to pay my bills, and then the rest of the money I was earning, I was reinvesting right back into my business. That way I could just continue to grow my store, grow my capital, grow my inventory, everything like that. So that's how I did it. Let's see. Do you just get a lot of inventory at once and that's how you start, or how would you go about it? So yeah, I kind of already answered that. I did not go out and buy a ton at once. I started with everything around my house, and then I just slowly added inventory as I went along, because like I said, I didn't have a ton of money to invest in the beginning, but I just reinvested what I could, sourced the best inventory that I could. I wouldn't necessarily go buy a ton at once unless you have the money to invest. I think it's important to kind of learn what works for you first before you just dive, head first. So kind of play around with brands, styles, etc. Find what works for you, and then go after it a little harder. Okay, question number 3. I love these videos. Not sure if you have answered this before, but how much time do you spend in a store when you're sourcing, and how many hours a week do you source? Okay, so it is not, to be honest, you guys, it is not unusual for me to spend hours in a thrift store, but that is not, from a business standpoint, that is not something I would necessarily recommend. From a business standpoint, you want to be able to go in, spend the least amount of time sourcing the best and the most amount of inventory possible, because time is money. But for me, I genuinely enjoy thrifting. It's just something I love, just going in and browsing through multiple sections in the thrift store, just digging and hunting to see what I can find. It's just very therapeutic for me and calming and relaxing. So if I have the time, I don't mind just kind of going in one evening, and I will spend a couple hours just looking through everything. But then I also do have days where I have like a set route, a set of locations that I want to go to. And in that case, because I know I have multiple stops I need to go to that day, I will kind of give myself time limits in each store. That way I can make sure that I get in and out and don't spend too much time in one store. So yeah, I mean, that's really the honest answer. I do probably spend more time than I should from a business standpoint, but it's my favorite part of the job, honestly, so it really doesn't feel like work to me. How many hours a week do you source? So I try to source at least 5 days a week, but not all of them I source in person. So I source in person probably 2 to 3 times per week. That was a little bit different during the shutdown, and obviously in 2020, my sourcing was a little thrown off. But because of that, I have learned how to source many other ways as well. So not only am I sourcing in person a couple times a week, I source online multiple times a week as well. So I also have inventory coming directly to me, delivered to my house. So even if I'm not leaving the house, some days I still am sourcing. So I like to keep that consistent flow of inventory coming in. As far as hours go, because the actual question says how many hours a week do you source, I honestly have no idea. I don't keep track of my hours that I'm out. Okay, question number 4. Do you list the same item on all 3 channels at the same time? Okay, so by channels, I'm guessing you mean platforms, because I do sell on Poshmark, Mercari, and on eBay. And no, I don't list them all on all 3 at the same time. I initially list all of my items on Poshmark, and then, so what I do, just to break it down really quickly, is I prep my items for photographing. I photograph them in batches, and then I upload the photos into Poshmark. I will then fill out my listings and post them live, and from there the items get put on a rack that I keep in my room, and then those items I know will then need to be put away, so I pre-bag them and put them down in my inventory system. Once I've given the items an inventory number, pre-bagged them or boxed them, whatever they need to be in, I will weigh the items before I put them away. Once I have a weight for the item goes on a list that I keep for cross-posting, and occasionally I will go through that list every couple of days and cross-list items to eBay and Mercari, and I just go in order. So if I have a ton to do, it may take a week for an item to get cross-listed. If I've completed my entire cross-listing list and I need new things to cross-list, an item may get cross-listed the very next day. It kind of just depends on how it falls onto my my cross-list list, I guess. Hope that makes sense. I don't sit down and cross-list everything or cross-post everything at the same time. It initially goes on Poshmark, and then within a day or 2, maybe even a week, I will eventually get it put over on Mercari and eBay. Some things though will sell on Poshmark within 24 to 48 hours, and that's always wonderful because then I never end up needing to cross-list that item. So that's how I do it. That's the system I've developed that works well for me. Okay, question number 5. How much do you usually pay on each Vans? So I'm guessing this person's referring to Vans, the shoe brand that I source. If you guys have seen a lot of my What Sold videos or even some of my retail arbitrage videos, you know that Vans is just a brand of shoe that I really love sourcing and selling. I've sold the brand so many times, and on average, I mean, that's a really tough question to answer, but on average, I would say I spend $25 or less per pair. Usually if I could stay around the $20 price point, $15 to $20 price point, most all pairs of Vans are profitable for me at that price point. But there are certain pairs that I know that I've sold for, like certain collaboration pairs and just certain styles that I've sold for $75 plus. And some of those pairs I'm willing to pay up to $30 for. So I would say I've paid anywhere from like $15 to $30 per pair of Vans, but I also really know what styles sell well for me and what styles I am willing to pick up now, just from experimenting with so many different pairs and so many different styles. So that also plays a factor, is just kind of deciding which ones I feel like are worth paying that. But yeah, I hope that answers your question. Anywhere from $15 to $30 a pair. All right, you guys, so that is it for today's Q&A video. I hope you found this information helpful. Also, if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to this channel down below. Hit that little bell notification so you do get notified when I upload new videos. I hope you're having a great day, great rest of your week, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye, guys.